right shoulder, and she's going to blow them away. Galaxy Star draws away from them. Pike Magician.
Welcome to Racing Rewind. Our panel will review the Prime Metropolitan meeting of the week. They will look for the horses to follow, those to forgive, and possibly those to forget. If you have an opinion, send a text to 0427 789 571. 0427 789 571.
Yeah, big day out there, Jockey Celebration Day. Michael and Lochie in the studios. A very good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Marty, Michael, and listeners. A low-key day there in terms of some of the horse flesh going around, but there were a few highlights. Clearly, the win of Triple J. It's great to see him finally live up to some of the potential he was showing early days. I think the Pierce boys have worked really hard in tinkering out some little issues behind the scenes, and we're really seeing the fruits of that now, which I think has been great to see over these winter months.
Yeah, he's won 7 from 16 now, Triple J, with further 5 placings. So the penny's dropped and he's putting it all together. Team Williams picked up where they left off, haven't they? They've obviously won the Metropolitan Trainers Premiership for the season that finished last week, and a winning treble there yesterday, and I think a few doubles as well from the jockeys. The riding ranks were shared between a few.
Michael, back from the Goldfields, hit and run for Jack Halligan's funeral up there on Friday. Tell us a bit about that for the great man.
Yeah, great turnout there for Jack, who many Goldfielders would be familiar with, bookmaking family as well, of course, and I think he has the highest winning percentage in the world for pool, a 2-time world champion in 8-ball. Unbelievable, the Kalgoorlie kid. And no, it was a good turnout. Saw a lot of people that I haven't seen for many years, and a lot of people were asking me about yourself as well, Marty, actually.
Yeah, I just couldn't make it. I'm not joking about that. I spoke to Robbie about it during the week.
No, well, I told them that you're under house arrest, so you can make it, but
they've still got that ban at Coolgardie. The plane can't get in.
Yeah, I said the
ankle bracelet.
I said the bracelet doesn't stretch that far, unfortunately, but we've got him to go to Gloucester Park. That's about it.
Yeah, that's it. Correct weight. And anyway, it was a good show. They held it at the Blue Spec Room, didn't they?
Yes.
At the race course.
Then off to the Tats after that.
Wow. Yeah, they gave Jack a great send-off. The send-off he deserved, there's no doubt about that. So, back to Belmont Park yesterday. Tell us about the stewards' room. Any action, Jackson?
No, not much to report at all. No fines or suspensions. The only thing of note, in my opinion, was the fact that Think of God, who was once favourite in race 2, bled from both nostrils. So I think the camp are currently considering potentially retiring the mare, so that's unfortunate.
Disappointing, but she has ability.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it might have been a really short career for Think of God.
Did Pikey's stirrup iron snap that race?
Snapped or lost it, either or. He looked to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, it was a horrid run. Just
everything that could go wrong did.
Absolutely. In terms of the track, though, I thought it played quite fair yesterday. There, we had leaders win, we had breeze horses win, we had horses make ground down the middle part of the track, so I couldn't find any chinks in the armour of the track yesterday.
No, neither could I. At some stages you thought that perhaps it was slightly advantageous to be in the first 4, but horses like Sentimental Bell and Captain Pluto both won off the back of reasonable tempos out in front, and they were able to make subsequent ground.
Okay, let's get into this. The first event of the day, the Key Clean Plate. It was over the 1,200 metres.
Of Arduet, then came Overdrive, followed further back by Lano, and still last is Net Zero as they come into the turn. Brad Parnham pushing along Timeless Gem. A beautiful rails run is coming the way of the favourite, getting right up near the inside. There's enough room, and it looked to be an absolute cruise mode. Glasgow Lass went through, grabbed Timeless Gem. They beat off Battle Commander Arduet as Lucy goes to work with 100 to go. Glasgow Lass pulls away from them here in the Yulong colours and goes home to score and makes it 2 for 2. Nice filly. On return, Glasgow Lass beat Timeless Gem. Overdrive Arduet photo.
Well, what about this win of Glasgow Lass? Important for Mitch Pateman, and didn't let punters down.
Really important, Marty. Great win, great return from a very exciting filly. Small field, and weird things can happen in small fields. We've all seen that before, and at stages when Glasgow Lass went to the fence in the box seat, I suppose there were some nervous moments, but once Timeless Gem rolled off the fence, Glasgow Lass, didn't she just travel so nicely? She found the front without actually Well,
I think Lucy pulled the stick, did she?
She was still on the bridle. It was just such a dominant performance. You read the winning margin. It was only a length. It could have been much more than that. Really stylish win. And interesting to note, I think the most interesting thing out of that win was post-race, Mitch said that after her last campaign, they did some genetic testing on her, and it's their belief that she really looks like a miler in time. So at this stage, it looks like a champion fillies, WA Guineas will be her path, and whether she has another run this time in or goes out for a short break now and then perhaps goes first up into a race like a Belgravia, I'm not sure, but I'm sure Mitch and Connections will be sorting that out over the next few days.
Has never lost a barrier trial or a race now.
Yep.
She's a serious filly. I actually thought it was difficult to say because she only performed the once, but I thought she was the best 2-year-old last season, and unfortunately she went and missed, so she wasn't able to progress all the way through to the feature races. But geez, she did that in second gear yesterday, and whether it is a Placid Arc, whether it is a WA Guineas, I guess it's her next preparation. How she comes to hand will decide that, but either way, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the spring. Really like Timeless Gem as a type. Beautiful horse to look at, and sort of wobbled off the bend a little bit yesterday as well, which gave Glasgow Lass that saloon passage, and then Brad tried to go back to the fence, but Glasgow Lass was there and thought it was a nice enough effort still. Duet has been knocking on the door, been going close, and Overdrive made late ground, but I thought the rest of the field were only fair. Lano in particular, who won on debut, was a bit plain.
Really like the run of the second horse, Timeless Gem. Agree with you. I just think he's a really, really nice horse. If you go back and watch the replay, you can actually see he just wasn't travelling all that strongly out in front. It wouldn't surprise me if he's just a green horse and the penny still hasn't dropped with him. He may have just needed a friend to follow there yesterday. He was 3 deep, no cover. First up in winning at Pinjarra, and I just feel he's the type of horse that might appreciate a better quality race where he can just have a couple horses to follow and we'll see the best of him. He's certainly no Glasgow Lass, but I really like him as a type for S.J. Miller.
But keen to be following Glasgow Lass wherever she goes in the spring.
Yeah, important one for you, Long, by their Stallion Alabama Express. Stands there for 55,000 for them. He's been a bit of a sensation and is certainly on an upward trajectory, isn't he?
There's not many of them in WA.
No, there wouldn't be. Why is that?
How's Jimmy Choo going? His side.
Jimmy Choo's flying at the moment, mate. Go to race number 2.
He got in before us.
The Morley Growers Market Handicap. We've got a few on the text line to get through as well. We'll get to them. This was over the 1,000 metres, race number 2.
Running fourth, Bonnie Ladd, trying to come off its heels at this stage. Think of God under influence is going to try and cut the corner to save ground at the 375, and now Bayes in on the outside, comes out after Prince Amongst Men. A rails run Golden Fighter. Bonnie Ladd let down very quickly though to burn them all off, and inside the 170 it's Bonnie Ladd that races clear from them. Bonnie Ladd in full flight, Golden Fighter battling. Under influence is getting right out of the ground, charging home. It will be too late however, and Bonnie Ladd just won from Under Influence, who absolutely swallowed up the ground in the final stages and has gone down only about a head at the finish. Golden Fighter close up behind.
Good win this by the 5-year-old son of Snippert's son, and we had Adam Duran on drive, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday night, and I just got a feeling that he's got that stable ready to go early in this new season.
Absolutely. We saw in the last month or two of last season that the team were really starting to hit their straps, and I think they're going to continue to have a really good run for the next couple of months. Bonnie Ladd, this is just another really honest homebred horse in a similar sense and type to Russian Sniper. They can sustain long campaigns and just continue to race up to a level where they can win races when placed appropriately. That was the case there yesterday. Had a lovely run in behind the speed, courtesy of a great gate. I love the fact that he was able to just settle a touch handier than he has previously, and from there was able to show a nice turn of foot. He's just an honest type. I don't think he's a superstar, but he just has a nice racing pattern when he can draw a barrier, and he has a turn of foot to match. So I wouldn't be saying that that was his last win there yesterday, and he's already won 6 races.
Yeah, I thought that the ride and where he settled in the run clearly was the different factor in the race. They went pretty steady, I think. They didn't even break a minute for the 1,000 in a Saturday race, albeit obviously a soft track, but I still don't think they went overly quick here, and Under Influence is just flying at the moment. He was coming at them sprouting wings late, but Bonnie Ladd was just too strong, able to hold him off. Golden Fighter was a nice return, stuck on well for third, and I'm not sure about Bayzid. I've tipped him a couple of times his preparation. He's been going okay, not disgraced. He had no luck whatsoever the start prior to yesterday when he was 3 deep the trip, but I think he's probably gone unders this preparation from what I expected.
Yeah, he started off the campaign really, really nicely. First up, he was a dominant winner by a length and a half. And on that day, he just had so much dash about him. Even yesterday, it's not as if he stepped slow.
I thought he'd lead that race on his ear yesterday.
Exactly, and he's not stepping slow. He just doesn't appear to possess the same speed he did early on in the campaign. So maybe he's just in need of a short freshen up, and then he can come back and dominate races from out in front. The second horse, Under Influence, loved his run once again, but that is him. The Pierce brothers have a really good handle on him. That
just a pure get-back sprinter.
Exactly. He's a 1,000-metre horse, so you're always going to have to take him on trust, and I feel like that's the reason that he, as a horse, always goes around third, fourth line of betting in this type of grade, and he's never favourite because he just always gets back. He flies late, going really, really well, and hopefully he can pinch another win or two before the end of his campaign.
Yeah, and Think of God we've touched on, unfortunately, the rider lost the use of the iron, but also bled both nostrils, so disappointing for Connections.
Okay, better start working through some of these texts. One here, boys from Straight Up, they are on fire. Peng, he tipped winners. He's been putting my kids through school.
Private school?
I didn't say what school
Scotch.
it is. and also more of Brad Short, please. 5 winners. Yeah, the boys are on fire, Peng and Brad Short.
Well, they're only cameo appearances, Peng and Brad Short. What about the 2 finalists? How'd they go?
Probably had better days at the office.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of lacking a bit of support from those lads. We'll have a word to them, though, and Straight Out starts to go live on Thursday, so from about 3 o'clock it'll be live on the radio and recorded and then replayed as a podcast.
So they're going to be off the bridle and trying to get back into
the
form.
Exact same show, exact same format, just live.
Well, I don't think it'll be the exact same show. It'll be sort of tempered a little, if you want.
You don't listen to the show, clearly.
Now, there's another one just come in. Hi, guys, listening in from England. Great show. Kirsten Duke from Sky, and I was with Michael during a Sky conference or something. I can't...
Oh, yes. Yes, Sky Racing Academy 2019, potentially.
That's what I think she means,
yeah. Kirsten Duke tuning in, okay.
Yeah, she's over there in England at the moment.
Are you going to say hi back? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. G'day, Kirsten. Flick her a message.
Yeah. On to race number 3, and this is the Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap. It's over the 1,400 metres.
Advance behind them, the favourite Cruise to Victory. Pike is just starting to stoke up now, and he's working it now onto the bridle here, coming around the heel, setting after these 2 horses in front, followed by Lover Session, who's starting to loom very stylishly on the outside. At the 250 advanced, and Delicate Ruler joined by Lover Session. Pike goes to work on Cruise to Victory, who will not go away, and Cruise to Victory rushes through, put paid to Lover Session, back behind them Kaskazi, but Cruise to Victory with Pike working overtime, hard hands and heels beat Lover Session.
He was working hard, wasn't he? Pike on the Lucky Street 5-year-old, but it got the money, fought back through the middle and beat Lover Session, who just can't get the head down on the line.
No, she can't, Lover Session, but all honours to Cruise to Victory. Clearly an improved horse under the care of Grant and Alana Williams, settled in the box seat, travelled nicely. They didn't go too hard here, but he just had such a lovely, economical run throughout. I don't think he broke stride in getting out into clear air, and from there finished the race off nicely. Not sure about this race as a form reference, because a horse like Lover Session just about hit the front and did what Lover Session does, but Cruise to Victory, nice horse, and with 57 kilos on his back there yesterday, he's actually nicely weighted in this type of grade. He can stay in this grade, go to 58.5 next start, and still be hard to beat. Yeah,
for sure. He looked gone on straightening, but I dare say Willie Pike, who knows Lover Session very well, would have just glanced to his right and seen which horse it was thought,
I got you covered.
I'm definitely home. Even though you've headed me by half a length, good luck. And Love a Session, geez, how far on straightening. Just bolts up to them, doesn't she? And just doesn't quite know how to get the job done. But she's run 10 seconds now, so she's certainly paying her way. But, as a betting proposition, she is a tricky conveyance, that's for sure. I thought Kaskazi was super first up. Came from...
Big run.
Yeah,
massive.
Back of the field. Held up as well on the straights and was doing his best work late. Actually wasn't fully tested and ran a really nice third. I thought that was a brilliant performance by a horse that generally improved sharply further into his campaign. Gold Merit's finished off quite well as well, and poor old Advance has had a couple of luckless runs this preparation and had the right run there yesterday, but was only fair, so perhaps he's coming towards the end of his preparation, which is disappointing because he's probably should have won one or two by now this time in. Outside of those, Romeo always gets back, runs on, but probably had a little bit too much work to do and was only fair to the line. And War Gem, I thought, has been a bit disappointing this preparation, but by all reports, Neville Parnham, I spoke to him after the race, actually, walking past, and he said that he'll be off to the paddock because he's not appreciating the soft tracks this winter.
Did you tip War Gem?
Yes.
You did, yeah.
There was a theme of yesterday's meeting, speaking to a few trainers and different sets of connections. There were a couple horses that are on their mark, nearing retirement or moving on to weaker jurisdictions, and this type of race screamed of that. There are plenty of horses that have been going around here in WA for a while now, being great horses for their owners, but they've probably seen better days.
Got to read this one out. Jim of Pommy Pie, and he's actually sent the screenshot in of his multi. He started off with Reliable Image, race 3 Pinjar on Thursday, win. Glasgow Lass, race 1 Belmont, win. Clues to Victory, race 3 Belmont, win. Taropa, race 4 Belmont, win. Iowa, race 6 Belmont, win. 2 Dardy. He's gone he went Iowa the place and 2 Dardy the place.
Oh, so it's got up.
He's got the money. 44.69. Well done.
Wowee.
Jim of Pommy Pie, you are a star.
$44 winner.
Chicken dinner. On to race number 4.
Is that one of Peng's tips, was it?
No, Peng had tipped Iowa, yeah. Race 4, Party at Ollie's, 12th of October on sale, and this was over the 1,200 metres.
Audrey Grace, and toward the tail end of the field as they set sail for the judge is Mocha Dream at the 375. Caddy Rock on the outside of Military Power. Now Brad Parnham releases the brakes on to Roper, and the mare starts to extend. Galaxy Affair is in pursuit. Caddy Rock to Roper. To Roper got a nose in front. Galaxy Affair is running on strongly. It's to Roper. Galaxy Affair coming to Roper is finding, however, and to Roper is able to stave off Galaxy Affair. Goes 4 for 4. Nice mare to Roper. Beat Galaxy Affair. Caddy Rock over on the inside close.
Oh, great to see Werner with a nice mare to Roper. Tell us about it, Lock.
Nice win. 4 from 4 now is Taropa. Great ride from Brad Parnham, and I think it was the ride that in the end won her the race because she only won by just under a length, settled 1 out, 1 back. For mine, I have a massive opinion of this mare, and I actually thought that perhaps she could have or should have won with a little more in hand. I didn't think she beat a great deal there yesterday. A horse like Galaxy Affair, he's been around for a long period of time and has done plenty of his racing on country circuits, but Taropa, she either is in need of a break from what I saw yesterday or perhaps is looking for more ground. Maybe she is looking for 1,400 metres now, but
off
I think
to the paddock, I think.
Okay, there you go. So she's really had a great campaign this time in, and Werner's just placed her to perfection. That was a nice win yesterday, albeit I do feel like she has more to give next campaign.
Yeah, so do I. She's clearly has a really good ability. She's 4 from 4, but I think her next preparation is going to tell the tale because I was surprised. Yesterday, of course, was a Saturday race, but it was a 0 metro win. So going through her form, she's been placed well. She won that 2-year-old midweek on debut on a soft track. She's come back this preparation. She won a Class 1 on a soft track. She then went to a Class 3 fillies and mares on a heavy track and won. And yesterday was a 0 metro win. So she really, the form lines are questionable, and they're it's all winter form as well. So while she's undefeated, I think her next preparation, hopefully she can go on with it, and if she does, she could be a serious horse. But just a little bit of a devil's advocate in some sense of just those form lines for the price that she may be starting. next time in. Galaxy Affair was given every chance by Pike. He was settled on the back of Chiropa and was coming late, but Chiropa was able to hold him off. Going to be following Canny Rock still, though, this preparation. I think he's one of those horses that doesn't matter what type of race you put him in, he's going to be thereabouts. He's still only at Class 1, 14 start Class 1, but he's run 9 minor placings, and he battled on really well yesterday to be finishing third by only a length, and he puts himself on speed, and I think he's got the ability to, when the penny does drop with him, because he's still doing things wrong, he's still quite raw, I think he can be a Saturday type in time. And Enticing was pretty good late, hit the line strongly.
He was. So was Audrey Grace, but as I said earlier, there was a few horses racing yesterday that look like they're on their mark. Fingers crossed for Mitch and Connections that Audrey Grace isn't one of those horses, the younger sister to Songa.
Yes, it's 28 away from 9 time. We took a break.
You are listening to Racing Rewind on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
Then 2 lengths, Cold Chisel, followed further back, Crescent City and Always, and last another Cheeto. Heads a turn for home at the 350. It's Corn Cob, given his head a length clear. Triple J, who'll stick on 2 lengths, upper limits, letting down multinational back to the rail. Then Cold Chisel and Always. The favourite's gone to the lead at the 150. Triple J holding upper limits with 100 to go. He Always runs on, but Triple J starts to work his way clear, and Triple J goes home to score. Triple J makes it a hat-trick. It's 4 out of his last 5. He's in absolutely a purple patch of form. Beat upper limits. Behind them, close up as well. Crescent City got home.
Yes,
okay.
horse absolutely flying, isn't he, Triple J? Good luck to Neville and all the owners in Triple J there. By Street Boss, beats upper limits, Crescent City and Multinational back in 4th.
Great win, love the horse. As Darren said, he's in a purple patch of form. 4 out of his last 5 wins, and I think he's really found the niche at 1,400 metres. He's able to be ridden for speed. Once again, settled outside the leader. Drew a sticky alley on paper, but it always looked like Brad Parnham would eventually be able to settle outside the lead. He followed Corn Cob across, travelled really nicely into the race. In running, the main danger clearly looked like upper limits, but Triple J dropped him off at around the 200-metre mark. Found the line really, really nicely, and yeah, as I said at the beginning of the show, it's just nice to see this horse starting to live up to his potential that he showed earlier on in his career, and he's just in a terrific place in terms of a handicapping perspective as well. The Pierce brothers have plenty of options for him moving forward.
Yeah, they do. The next run will be particularly tricky because there are a few options for him, but he's doing terrific job at the moment. I thought upper limits had his chance, was 1 out, 1 back, and Triple J seemed to hold him through the line. Yep. Upper limits looked to be gaining on him on straightening, but then Triple J just dropped him off the last couple of 100 metres, and I actually thought was, if anything, pulling away or at least holding him through the line. So I thought it was a convincing win, and off that effort, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a mile. He seemed to be super strong late, and the way he's settling now, he's a big boy who I think the genetic testing of Neville's might have suggested that he could get a mile as well early days, and the way he's matured, it's looking that way. So perhaps that 84-plus race in a fortnight's time isn't completely out of the question, but either way, he's should be hard to beat wherever he goes next. Crescent City, I thought, was a terrific return. I'm going to make him a follow. He can be a tricky horse to catch, but he was held up on straightening, and then he flashed late for third. He's off to the Goldfields, and I don't think there's been many, or perhaps Iowa, who we'll touch on later on in the program. There's not a huge amount that's put their hand up to be particularly difficult to beat in the upcoming Kalgoorlie features. So I think knowing that he's on that path, he should be in for a pretty good campaign. And Multinational probably always tested at this level against these horses, but he was a solid effort.
On another Chino, I think Scott raised a really good point yesterday morning in the preview that another Chino, they've been very open and honest in regards to them being on a Kalgoorlie Cup path. So I think that provides a nice reference point in terms of another Chino potentially being higher up in the weights. So you can reference back from another Chino, and you can factor in horses like Filthy Habits in Iowa who are potentially on similar pathways. Back on Triple J, Michael, you work closely with the stable, and you reference the fact that there's a few options for Triple J moving forward. Now, clearly, it's only the day after the race, so a decision hasn't been made. But what are the 2 or 3 options that are potentially on the table for Triple J in terms of his immediate future?
Well, I think he'd keep going. So I think it would either be go to the mile in a fortnight, or I think a week later there's the Idyllic Prince. But that's weight for age. So my advice to them would probably be not to go to that race because of the rating points that he would risk, because in my opinion, he's the ultimate Pinjarra Classic, Bunbury Stakes type of horse in the autumn. So that's a listed race, generally 90 pluses. He'll go to a 90 racer now.
Yep.
If he was to go there and happen to win that Idyllic Prince in a fortnight's time, then all of a sudden you put yourself out of the autumn, don't you? Yep. So it's I think whilst he's probably got the ability to do it, I think either the mile in a fortnight or potentially even a Farnley. He has gone a month between runs this preparation. I think the Farnley's a couple of weeks after the Idyllic Prince.
Yep.
That is a listed handicap where he'd get in on the minimum just about. So it'd be one of those two choices, I would say, but the option's there anyway for the three.
Okay, go to race number 6, the Varley Pat Oliver handicap. This is over the 2,100 metres.
Really stack and pack coming to the turn. Over on the outside, going forward, Extra Revs and making a move around them. The mare Candlelight Supper. And further back, Emerald Trader starting to hit top gear as well. Parnham goes to work on Iowa. At the 270, it led by 2 Candlelight Supper. Extra Revs can't go on. Iowa scraping the Dulux over on the inside is well clear with 100 left to go. It's Iowa by 2 Candlelight Supper. Over on the outside, Emerald Trader runs on. Iowa's getting a little tired, but it'll have enough in hand, and Iowa got the money. Iowa at his second run in WA for Derby.
He was the talking horse at the meeting, I thought. Iowa, Simon Miller and Chris Parnham gets the money over Candlelight Supper. Alan Matthews had told us during the week he thought this horse, it was a D-Day day for it, and Emerald Trader in third and Strike now fourth.
Great win, great training performance from Simon Miller. Yep. Second up, 2,100 metres, and Iowa, plenty of running. He could have got crossed in the early stages, but Benji's elected to just settle outside of him, and from there he just idled up to the lead, controlled the race, just started to go through his gears prior to straightening, and from there just found the line really, really well. You can only assume that there was some improvement still left in him. Simon said post-race he's at a tricky point handicap-wise in regards to where he goes from here. The Cal Cup is the ultimate aim for Iowa, but great to see the Derby Racing Silks salute once again here in WA, this time for a West Australian trainer, and it looks like those connections are going to have plenty of fun with Iowa en route to a Kalgoorlie Cup.
Yeah, I got this one wrong yesterday in the parade ring. He sort of lathered up and he was getting quite hot, and he was second up, 2,100 metres, 3 weeks between runs, so everything from a yard perspective said no for me, so I was happy to take him on there yesterday. But geez, it was a strong win. He was, even though those horses were coming at him late, I felt like he was still strong through the line, and I'm pretty sure there is some improvement in him to come still. So heading to the Goldfields, he'd have to be the number one seed at the moment. And just on a handicapping perspective, he was a 78 yesterday, so he'd go to an 82. Mm-hmm. Another Chino's a 90, so he's still 8 points off another Chino. So he, getting sort of 4 kilos, or if he wins another one, 2.5, 3 kilos on him. At those sort of races is going to be pretty hard to beat. Iowa, on speed, goes on all tracks by the looks, looking at his form.
Has he been on a good to firm?
Yeah, good track, 13 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds.
Good.
So he's been the number one seed for the Goldfields at the moment. Candlelight Supper was a good run, finished off really well. Emerald Trader was the horse I tipped, first started a staying journey this preparation, and I thought he was really good. He was his best part of his race was through the line, so I think he would be a horse that could be pinching one of these moving forward. And Strike Now produced a similar type of run than what he's been producing. Top 4 again, pretty consistent. Thought Extra Rev was only fair. Extra Rev, sorry.
Yeah, Mark of Vic Park. How many Galileos have raced in Perth? There's been a few, hasn't there?
There would have been over the years. Not many going around at the moment. I'd say Iowa would be the only one at this stage.
Didn't Gavin Slater have one? I'm sure he had.
Side a Group 1 winner, or Galileo?
Only about 5,000.
When do you announce the winner of the tipping comp we have? It was Brian. Keen to see result as my AFL tipping has done of Matildas. That's PT. Taropa's form questionable. Beat Brave Spirit on debut. That's Razor of Collie.
Yeah, absolutely. No, very nice horse, but
the form out of yesterday's win was questionable.
And I think this preparation, Class 1, Class 3 fillies and mares, 0 Metro win. She actually hasn't contested a Metropolitan or a Saturday class race yet. She's had 4 starts for 4 midweek wins, so clearly a really talented type, but she's probably going to be starting odds on or even money wherever she goes next prep, and it'll probably be her first start in a genuine Saturday race. That's my only query, and she's never seen a good track either. They've all been soft tracks.
Okay, Dylan from Meekatharra. Morning, Michael and team. Can we please have confirmation that Peng is the Penguin? Love following his tips. I think it is, yeah, we can confirm that. Peng's the Penguin.
You work closely with the Peng, don't you?
I'm not that close.
Is he your turf advisor?
No, not that close. We just catch up.
He's Wes's turf advisor, isn't he?
Every Thursday about 11 o'clock at the Bennett Street TAB.
The local.
Call in there and he writes the tips on the back of a betting ticket and gives them to me, and that's it. Transactions take place and we go on our separate ways. Race number 7, this is the congratulations, Matty Derrick, and well done to Matty too, leading apprentice over the 23-24 season. This was over the 1,200 metres.
Born to talk, a length and a half away on the outside next of all, and about to work into it is Silver Eye. They're followed back behind those Sentimental Bell, trying to weave away through the congestion and getting into the clear as well for Pike. Silver Eye hit the front, but look at Sentimental Bell. Silver Eye, Sentimental Bell. Pike has to go to work. Silver Eye kicks. Sentimental Bell gets square, gets the head in front, and Sentimental Bell comes away. Sentimental Bell with a hat-trick of wins as well from Silver Eye. 3 lengths behind those, Son of the Boss, followed then by Angel Undercover. Multiverse.
Well, you got to love them when they're in form, these horses. Grant and Alana doing a terrific job, and this Nakoni mare, she is on fire, Lock.
She is 3 in a line now. She has just relished the wet tracks throughout these winter months. The speed was on, and most of the horses yesterday back in the field were really chasing hard, but Sentimental Bell, she in fact was one of them, but once she picked up the bridle in the home straight, found the line really, really nicely. Silver Eye, he's come back in terrific order. He is absolutely flying at the moment and deserves a win shortly, but Sentimental Bell, she's been the talking point for a couple meetings now, and that was another fantastic result yesterday.
Yeah, it certainly was. She's been a bit of a slow burn, this horse, but she's putting it all together now and has appreciated getting her toe in the ground, that's for sure. Thought Silver Eye was another really good run, gapped the third-placed horse by over 3 lengths. They did go pretty quick this race, though, and I thought it was sort of set up really well for Sentimental Bell. It was a full second faster than another 1,200 metre race on the day, and the first 600 metres in particular was about 5 or 6 lengths faster. So I thought Son of the Boss was particularly good, but Silver Eye sort of tracking that speed, hit the front and travelled up really well, but was probably always going to be a bit vulnerable to a horse like Sentimental Bell, ridden by a jockey like William Pike. But 2 really good runs there, or 3 really good runs actually, with Son of the Boss absorbing that pressure. And Angel Undercover was better. I thought she was disappointing first up, but I thought that was a good run there yesterday.
I agree, and I agree with your comments in regards to the shape of this race. The leader in Universal Flair started a $10 chance, and a few punters were giving her a reasonable chance in yesterday's race, but with just how hard they went, she was beaten almost 10 lengths. So the race was set up for something that was coming off the speed. Comic Hero, I thought he was a cheeky run. He was beaten 6 lengths and he ran 6th, but he's gone around at a reasonable quote his first 2 starts this preparation. I think he's going better than it looks on paper. He'll be a horse to follow out of the meeting for mine.
Yeah, made late ground there yesterday. I thought he was definitely an improver.
Great day out of Belmont again yesterday. Got piked with Silver Eye being the bridesmaid yet again. Well, it's records 2 wins, 4 places, 4 seconds. Do I keep the faith or remove from my black book? I don't normally keep serial places in it. Greg,
no.
I'll keep it in there.
Keep it in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep it in there.
Beautiful type of a horse.
Yeah.
One of the
sessions.
physically one of the better types out there yesterday, I thought.
Look at the horses he's ran second to. Joker's Grin deferred on 2 occasions, and Sentimental Bell, who's absolutely flying on these
we're all with
wet
Silver
tracks.
Eye. Greg, you've got to maintain the faith.
Yeah.
Stay there with Oakland Park. And Grey Shading was out there strutting his stuff there yesterday.
He was.
How'd he look?
Great.
Beautiful.
You like him from the yard, Mike?
Yeah, ripping tight.
Yeah.
Geez, he's got a good temperament.
Tell us about him.
Well, I can tell you about probably his temperament more so, because he's just been going around everywhere. I think I've seen him at Bunbury, Pinjarra, and now Belmont, so he's just becoming a bit of a traveller, which is very rare for a stallion, and he's a good-looking horse too, isn't he?
Yep, he is. All stallions are, but yeah, I think his temperament speaks volumes of his character.
Okay, so if you're...
With a page to match and big forearms as well, they tell me.
Big forearms. If you want to get involved with his Son of Frosted, it's Oakland Park. Hop on their website. Sessions is down there as well. It's the place to...
Great Demon is trying to find the bridle at this stage, but not really coming into it at this point of proceedings. Parnham's hard at work as Kerman Rock reaches the lead. They've gone to the 300. Kerman Rock headed Filthy Habits. Back behind them to Moncon. Here's Covert Rose starting to lengthen stride. Alberich and Great Demon not doing enough behind those. Kerman Rock, Filthy Habits comes back. Filthy Habits on the inside. Gets the head back in front of Kerman Rock. Covert Rose can't win. It's Kerman Rock, Filthy Habits in a two-horse war. Head bobbing finish. They go to it. Filthy Habits. Filthy Habits kicked on the rails and has just won it narrowly from Kerman Rock. What a great battle it was. It was a real stoush. Behind them, Covert.
Yeah, agree with you there, Mac. A real stoush between these two. I think most people watching were waiting for the run-on horses to get involved, but they couldn't catch up.
No, they just didn't stop out in front. Filthy Habits rolled them along, backing up for the third week straight, and he's already stepped down to 2100 and 2200 this campaign, so rock hard fit, allowed to roll along. It was a great ride from Jason Brown in second. It was just like a Tour de France slipstream, really. Followed Filthy Habits every move. It looked like he actually put a length on Filthy Habits at the top of the straight, but Filthy Habits, rock hard fit, Kerman Rock first up. That just looked like the difference in the end, and Filthy Habits was just the toughest horse for longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Geez, he is tough, isn't he? He just goes around so many times and is rarely beaten very far. And Kerman Rock went into yesterday's 7 starts first up. Duck Eggs had never run a place previously, or 6 starts, with Duck Eggs. Hadn't trialled going into yesterday, so I pretty much gave him none, even though he was flying last preparation. I just assumed he'd be a lot better second and third up, so he can probably be a horse to follow, actually. Kerman Rock, he should be in for a good campaign if he's producing that first up. Filthy Habits maybe off to Kalgoorlie, perhaps a Tattersalls Cup start, and I think that's a lowly rated race, so not like the Coolgardie Cups and the listed features. It's more of a country 70-plus style race.
Right.
So I think he could be really well in there. And
1760?
1760, yeah, I think about that. And 1600 or 1760, the Tattersalls Cup at Cal.
1760.
You two are the blokes from Cal.
Yeah.
It just moves. I can remember when it was 2200.
Yeah, they've changed it around a few times, but either way, on speed, Rockard fit, I think he'd be hard to beat in a race of that nature. Covert Rose and Moncong, as you mentioned there, followed the hot speed and stuck on quite well. Moncong in particular, I thought was a good effort. Alberich has been not too far away. He finished off quite well there yesterday, and Super Romani was just in a different postcode. And Great Demon, the rider advised that in his opinion the gelding did not appreciate the soft track conditions. So I think that is important moving forward. I think probably being in that ground and in such a strong tempo type of race really brought him undone, but so might have to tread carefully with him next start if he's not a horse that appreciates it, because his first up run was really good, and I tipped him from the yard yesterday as well. But
big fella.
Nice big horse, but you have to be mindful of if he strikes another heavily rain-affected track again.
Yeah, exactly. We're in August now, so you'd think we probably have another 4 weeks or so of these softer tracks, and then it should start to firm up.
Okay, last event of the day, the congratulations, William Pike, leading jockey, 23-24 handicap.
Success play to Darty, and then very deep on the outside of those, next of all, Holy Ghost. Back in behind them, Probity and Icebergs, and they're followed by Pray Again, Captain Pluto and Cisco Joe. Savage One led them by the 250. Honeydew trying without Reg is still there, and down the outside, here's To Darty and Captain Pluto also sprouting wings. Captain Pluto has dashed up, hit the lead, and Captain Pluto's pulling away from them. That's a great win first up. Captain Pluto scored comfortably. 2.5 either To Darty or Cisco Joe. In behind them, close up, West River Miracle and Pray Again. Back behind those.
Yes, always shown plenty of ability, this horse, by Savabeel. First up, 1,400 metres. Gets the money.
He does. Really nice win, and he's a winner first up at 1,400 metres previously, and it makes me intrigued with this horse. Is he best kept fresh at 14 to a mile, or is he better suited stretching out in trip?
You often get a peak run first up 14 from stayers though, don't you?
Yeah, you do. So it's going to be an interesting case study, I guess, for Grant and Alana, where they go to next, maybe 3 weeks, 1,600 metres, I'm not sure. But
did they mention Kalgoorlie post-race?
Not really, but you'd suspect that just given his rating, that's a logical path for plenty of these horses that were winning over 1,600 metres and beyond yesterday, and he's only first up. So just a really dominant win, though. I didn't expect him to win with such arrogance. 3.5 lengths in the end, just absolutely demolished them late. Great win, but as you said, Michael, perhaps it was just a first up run and we need to be careful with him second up.
Yeah, it was a really, really nice win. I interviewed Grant for the Races WA pre-race and he said that he was pretty happy with the horse and that he had trained him differently this time in, kept him a lot fresher, lighter workload, only trialled him the once, and they thought they'd sort of worked him out last preparation, so pretty clever. They've certainly done the trick there yesterday, and he won with plenty more in hand. Thought there was some good runs behind him as well. Cisco Joe, I thought, was massive, came from last and finished off really, really well. I'm going to make him a follow. Too Darty was a good effort as well over the 1,400 metres. I was really pleased with that run. Having to sort of sweep around them and still finish off quite well. I guess half tick that 1,400 metre box because that was the query in him, but I do think he is more effective at 12 to 1,300.
I agree.
And Pray Again was unlucky as well, was held up for a lot of the straight, then got out and flashed late for fourth, but that is a little bit of Pray Again anyhow.
I really like the run of Icebergs first up, held up for the large majority of the straight. When he eventually did get clear, I thought he found the line well, and I was particularly impressed with his work through the line, a horse that should appreciate getting out over further. He's returned nicely.
D Amber I thought was a bit plain, a horse that I tipped there yesterday from the yard. Really good first run, second run at this preparation, and third up 1,400 there yesterday. Probably didn't appreciate getting buffeted around a little bit in the straight, but I thought she was a bit plain.
On Racing Rewind, it is time for the boys to look back and determine who are the black bookers, the ones to be on next start, the horses to follow.
For me, Greg L, keep following Silver Eye. I love what he's doing in this preparation. Comic Hero for one that might be at a big price next start, and Icebergs, as I just said.
A couple of nonnies who I think can win soon. Canny Rock and Crescent City for me. And two from the last race, Cisco Joe and Icebergs. I think they're in for good campaigns.
All eyes on Carnarvon today. Good luck with everyone going up there racing in the Murchison. The first event up there, Carnarvon, is at 150, the last of 6 at 4:47. Any winners up there, Locke?
I haven't had a look, unfortunately.
You wouldn't know where it is. What about yourself, Michael?
No, I've been a bit occupied the past couple of days, so haven't been able to cast my eye over them just yet.
Peter the Package O'Neill to take us through the morning into the afternoon. Have a good day.
Peter, Sunday.